But in order to hop, we have to jump from one foot to that same foot. So the demands of hopping can actually be higher than the demands of running. So if somebody can hop really efficiently, we can be pretty certain that they can handle running really well. What's up, guys? Dr. Sean here from Rock Physical Therapy, and today we're going to continue our conversation about higher level rehab and transitioning from more low level rehab that's more strength based to higher level activities that incorporate speed and impact and change of direction. So if you haven't checked out our last video, go ahead and take a look at that one, because we began to talk about that process of transitioning. And transitioning meaning we're just getting a starting point, right? It doesn't mean that we're using that one progression just to get somebody from low-level rehab back to the field. It means we're starting to expose them little by little to some greater speeds and some greater demands on how quickly they can contract their muscles and manage collisions with the ground. While these do help us transition from low-level to high-level rehab, they're still on the lower level side, meaning that there isn't a tremendous amount of load, there isn't a tremendous amount of force in some of these lower level landings, so they're not going to get us all the way to the point where we say somebody can do that, so now they're ready to go back and play their sport. There still needs to be a lot of work and a lot of build-up to get people back on the field. What that progression is really good at doing is exposing somebody to situations where they need to contract muscles in their leg really quickly and in a coordinated fashion. It's not like when their foot's to the floor, we just want the quad to work or just want the calf to work. We want everything to kind of co-contract and work together. So we don't want to start that process jumping off of boxes or jumping really high and landing where the load is going to be too difficult for somebody to manage. So those early exercises provide kind of a scaffolding, and when we get to the point where we can successfully hop and land and control ourselves, then we can start thinking about hopping progressions. So let's start today with where we left off last time, and that's with a hop being from right foot to right foot or from left foot to left foot. Hops are really nice because when we think about running, we're essentially jumping from foot to foot as we run, but in order to hop, we have to jump from one foot to that same foot. So the demands of hopping can actually be higher than the demands of running. So if somebody can hop really efficiently, we can be pretty certain that they can handle running really well. So our initial hop is just standing on one foot, hopping, landing and sticking on that same foot. There are a lot of ways that we can progress this, and probably the most obvious way is that we can hop further or we can hop higher so that collision with the ground is a little bit more forceful. We still want to stick that landing so that we're forcing the muscles up the leg to work together in a coordinated way and really, really quickly to stabilize the entire limb. The first progression I like to get into with hopping is some repetitive hopping. So instead of just hopping and sticking with one rep, we're going to string together multiple reps. So it might look something like this. With this variation, we're forcing you to be quick off the ground a couple of times, and then we're still creating that stiffness and that co-contraction on the final landing. Some other ways that we can progress hopping that can get very specific to different athletes, depending on what their specific needs are just changing the direction of the hop. So maybe instead of hopping straight forward, maybe I hop laterally. That's going to challenge my hip a little bit more because my momentum wants to take me that way as I'm now trying to stabilize this. Just like the forward hop, we can start to string together some reps with this too. So maybe I go hop, hop, stick while I'm traveling to the side, or I could go the other way. We can also start to think about rotational forces. So maybe I want to start facing forward and I want to hop and turn and stick. So now I have to manage that rotational force on that landing. One really easy way to increase the amount of force that you're hitting the ground with is to start to pick up the foot higher and higher as you're hopping continuously. So imagine if I hop and I only pick my foot up this high, when it comes back to the floor, it's not going to have that much force associated with it. Versus if I hop and I pick my foot up maybe level with my opposite knee, it's now going to have a lot more force coming back down to the ground. We can start with a light hop and we can kind of crescendo up and start to pick that foot up higher and higher to build up more forces, and then build back down to start to train some rhythm and some coordination as well. So that might look something like this. So hopefully that gives you some ideas about how you can use hopping progressions to progress towards your goals, whether that's returning onto the field to play your sport, or even just you want to do some recreational running and jogging. just to recap, some of the progressions that we went through were just a hop and stick, multiple hops and then a stick. You could do just some continuous hopping in different directions. Like I said, we can change directions to get a different type of impact. Or we could even just add that little foot lift so that we're getting a more forceful impact with the ground. While these progressions aren't the end-all be-all to return to sport, they're certainly a start, and they get us moving in the right direction. That's all for now. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. Watch the videos that are already on our channel. Give us some feedback and let us know what kind of content you would like to see in the future.